Hello everyone and welcome back to another class on my content creation and management course. I'm super excited to show you this amazing online tool that I use for project management. It helps me put my lists together, it helps me keep myself organized, it helps me time myself, and I think it's worth just jumping into and showing you how I use it so that you can begin to explore it yourself and figuring out better uses for project management and organizing your time, which for me was a game changer. So, all right, let's jump into it. Everyone, this is Asana or Asana. I probably say it wrong. It's said both ways. And it is a project manager. It helps you plan your own projects and plan yourself. It's pretty amazing. This is their sales page. I don't really want to dive into that. I want to dive into the actual program itself. So I'm going to log into it and show you what that looks like. Okay, cool. Hi, so welcome to the inside of Asana, and this is the project manager app that I'm absolutely obsessed with. There is a app version of it that we'll look at together, but this is the desktop version that I use the most. And what I really love about this app is its ability to turn my lists into actionable items that I can organize in every which way possible. And the best way to help you understand what that is by showing it to you myself. So we're going to quickly go over the dashboard, and then I'm going to dive into what my projects look like and how I use it. And hopefully that inspires you to use this program and take advantage of it the best way you can. Once again, I am not a huge expert when it comes to this program. It's as new to me as almost a year ago. I'm learning as much as you are. So if you find something that you think is really cool, feel free to share it in our Facebook group. We're always excited to share information together. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to get myself out of the way. And this is Asana. From the top, you can see on the left side, like per usual, you have a nice little dashboard or what you call it, a menu. And from this menu, you can click to control the window to your right. So right now we're in the home screen. It says, "Good afternoon, Joseph." That's me. And what it's telling me is my upcoming tasks that I have to do. These are some things that I need to do for advertising. It's doing a nice job reminding me. Below that are my projects. So these are all the projects that I have currently going, which are quite a bit. And it keeps me organized in all these areas, which is everywhere. Love this program. So that's the homepage. We're going to just dive, Luke, well, before we dive into it, we're going to look over to our left, and you're going to see where under home, it says my tasks. If I clicked on that, it would tell you all my tasks without them being categorized. I don't really want that. It might be a lot. Well, I guess let's just click on it. Here are all my tasks. I could categorize them to, into these different things: websites, ads, social media. If I needed to more give myself a way of focusing on those specific subjects, this is how I would usually go about that. I haven't needed to do that in a while. So typically they're in my lists, which right now that is a little confusing to look at. But it also gives you the idea of to put it in a calendar. So if you'd like, you could always put it into these calendars where you can see what's coming up. I haven't scheduled anything recently because everything I'm working on is due now, and I'm playing catch up. So, helps you keep track of that as well. So there's that. And then obviously when you're attaching files, this will tell you where all those files are attached. I try not to attach too many files to my stuff. Generally, everything I have is already on my computer, so there's not much of a need for it. But when you're on Teams, this is a great way of exchanging files. So something to keep in mind. Below tasks are going to be your inbox. Between team members, you can talk to each other through your inbox. There's just me using Asana right now. I do use it for other artists when I'm working within their teams, but we haven't talked to each other recently through here. We text usually or call or have mentor meetings. But this is a nice little option for you to do it between your own employees. And it's also a great way of when you're onboarding freelancers or anybody that you're working with temporarily, this is how you can communicate with them. Below that is reporting. It's not something that I use. I definitely use a lot of the functions, but I'm not really interested in seeing what they tell me my time being used for. Portfolio, not something that I really use at either. Goals, they allow you to set your goals as to like how fast you want to do something. This is also not something that I'm using, but I'm sure for a lot of people it's a lot of fun. But for myself, it just hasn't really had a place for everything that I've been doing. So now that we've gone over this little dashboard, I do want to dive more into all these different projects. And so I'm going to choose a project that's relevant to us, and I'm going to go to online courses. So this is my project for online courses. This is what I'm using to create all these courses for you and keep track of myself as I'm updating the website and adding blogs and all that kind of stuff. I actually keep track through this one program. So every time that I switch gears, I just click on one of these lists and I already have all the list of things that I need to do without it confusing myself. And that is what this is. So here's my online course list. The first couple things you're going to see are general to-dos. They haven't really found themselves into a smaller list. Smaller list consists of things that are the same. So if we scroll a little further down, you'll see my website already had its small list, and these are to do with the specific website. So I was able to categorize them into their own little bundle, which we're going to go over how to do. Below that is just another list, which is like about the specific course, selling merch online. I made it into these nice little check marks. And you see what happens when you create lists on Asana, it'll actually create a check mark list. So you're able to use these kind of check marks to keep track of your work, right? So create presentations for chapter opening videos. Okay. Well, I already did that. So I'm going to click it and now it's done. And I know that I did that. I don't have to worry about whether I did it. It's right there to remind me, which is great. Up here in this nice little complicated looking box, I know it's a lot of lines, but bear with me. Where it says the name of the project, you can go below to where it says overview. This is where you can add just what the project is about. You can give a due date. You can add people to it, which is really great. And you can even add sources like links, files, project briefs, all that kind of amazing stuff when you're communicating with your other team members is really helpful. So if I was to add someone onto this and have someone help me with my online courses, I would populate all this so that they knew exactly what I wanted. It's very helpful. Past that, we also have this beautiful list that I already showed you how it worked. We have a board, which I already explained to you is how you categorize things vertically. So if I wanted to grab all my tasks and put them into like about the website or selling merch, this allows me to look at it from a vertical sense. And that can be really helpful depending on how you like to keep track of your tasks. Of course, there's a timeline where it would show you, I'm sure it's telling me I'd have to pay, but we're not paying for this. We don't need to. But it will give you a nice little like timeline of what's coming up and what has been done. Calendar view, I think that's self-explanatory. And then, of course, you have this beautiful little workflow area, which it allows you to automate your team's process. Now, I don't pay for Asana. I'm sure at one point I will, but for now, to be honest, I'm getting all I need out of it in the free version. If you'd like to pay for it and you want me to go over how to work that, let me know. If not, they have their own resources for you to learn that. So feel free to dive into it. This video is meant to just be more of an introduction for you so that you can understand what's available to you. Under more, you can have messages, which is really great. So if you guys want to discuss something very specific about this project, this is where you can look to discuss it. Once again, you have your normal generic ways of talking. You have texting, calling, meeting, Zoom, and now this. So there you go. Diversify, everyone. And that is how it looks to create a project. Now we're going to dive into how to create a project. How we're going to do that is I'm just going to come down here. And where it says, actually, we're just going to start here. See this big red dot with the plus sign? We're going to click it. We're going to press project. I'm going to do a blank project because we want to start from the ground up. Cool. We're going to do a test project. Love it. Select a team. I want it to be me. Public to team. Cool. And I want it to be a list. I like lists. Lists are good for me. And I just want to start adding stuff. So here we are. Boom. We're at a very plain looking list. This is the project now. I'm going to start a generic tab. So general to-dos, right, is what this is. And then specific to-dos, ones that are categorized, right? And this is how I organize myself. And this is how I make sure that I don't lose track of everything. And as I go into these things, so let's go to our general to-dos, I can actually break it down even further. So here I'm in one of my to-dos. I can actually assign it to someone, which is amazing. I can set a due date for this very specific to-do. It already tells me the project it's in. I can add it to different sections here. I can add it to different projects, which is really helpful. I can add a description so that there's no question as to what this to-do is for. And then below that, I can ask questions. This is where more of that conversation continues to happen, where you can elaborate on what this task is. Maybe you had a question. Maybe there's a reason it's not done. You can communicate all these ideas here to yourself or to others, depending on who's added to this task, right? So this is pretty amazing. In the top, you can see there's a little check mark to say that someone likes this. You can add an attachment. You can add subtasks, which is these little things. You can same function as the task that you're in. You can add smaller ones. So just like if it says add payment system, there might be 5 or 10 different steps to adding a payment system. You can add those here and keep track of those yourself. You can add links. You can expand this so you can see it bigger. And then, of course, you can do even more with this. Like a dependent is a part of the automation. This opens up if something else is done. You can mark it as approved. You can create a milestone out of it, which is how you keep track of your goals. Tags are really great. So if you're looking for specific tasks, this is how you find them. And then you can convert this whole task to a template if you decided that this is something you've created a lot of, that you're doing a lot. This is great for that. You could even print this if you wanted so that you could have a physical version of what this is. So this is pretty amazing. Even in your subtasks, you can do this. You can actually get down and dirty in your subtasks. Like right here, you can go as far as to add a due date, put an assignee, write the name, get a description, add another subtask. Like it is amazing how down deep and dirty you can get with this stuff, and even mark it complete. So this is pretty amazing. I hope you see the value in this. I hope you understand that it really is endless in every direction. It just depends on what you decide is valuable. So take the time to get into Asana, familiarize yourself with the process, give it a go, try something, see if it helps, and it just might surprise you. All right. So thank you so much for joining me for this lesson. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having fun, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.